as Scar, the Lion King's brother, dangled from the cliff's edge. He begged his brother to save him. But Mufasa, the king, had no intention of letting him go. He watched his brother hanging there, then, with his own paws, pushed him off the cliff. Why would a king do this? Because this wasn't Mufasa, it was Scar. He had staged this scene to seize the throne. All this was witnessed by young Simba, who saw his father fall to his death. As the thundering herd of wildebeests faded from the gorge, Simba felt a helplessness he had never known. He always believed his great father was invincible. He called out again and again, but the only answer was the echo of his own voice. When the last wildebeest had passed, Simba bravely ventured into the dust-filled gorge. He found his father lying on the ground, still and silent. Simba nudged him, certain he would get up, but his hope was misplaced. This time, his father wouldn't rise. No matter how many times Simba called, no answer came. The terrible truth finally crashed down on him: his father was gone forever. Overwhelmed by grief, Simba let out a desperate cry for help, but the vast, empty gorge offered no comfort. No one was coming to save his father. He slowly curled up beside the still body, no longer calling out. Perhaps he just wanted his father to rest peacefully. Maybe, just maybe, when he woke up, everything would be a dream, and they would play together again. Simba closed his eyes, trying to feel his father's warmth one last time. But that fragile dream was shattered. Scar emerged from the shadows, feigning shock. "Simba, what have you done?" he asked, his voice dripping with false concern. He blamed the stampede on Simba's recklessness, claiming Mufasa died while trying to save him. He called it an accident, but his words were daggers, planting the seed of guilt in the young cub's heart. Innocent and heartbroken, Simba didn't see the deceit. Weighed down by sorrow, he believed he was responsible for his father's death. Scar twisted the knife further, mentioning Simba's mother. "What will your mother think?" The words struck Simba like a physical blow. Now, not only did he feel the weight of his father's death, but he also feared facing his own family. Lost in a storm of terror and pain, Simba turned to the only adult he saw: his uncle Scar. This was exactly what Scar had planned. "Run away, Simba," he commanded. "Run away and never return." Horrified, Simba did as he was told, fleeing into the unknown, unaware that he was running straight into another trap. Scar ordered his hyena henchmen to chase Simba down and kill him. The starving hyenas pursued him relentlessly. Cornered at the edge of a cliff, Simba slipped and tumbled into the abyss below. The hyena leader, seeing him fall, ordered 2 others to go and confirm the kill. But they were lazy. Who could survive a fall like that? They reported him dead and left, unknowingly sparing Simba's life. Now, homeless and alone, Simba wandered far from his home. He took one last hesitant look back at the Pride Lands. Just a short while ago, he was the son of a mighty king. Now, he was an exile, a lost cub in a world full of danger. With Mufasa gone and Simba presumed dead, Scar's path to the throne was clear. The Pride, grieving and leaderless, accepted him as their new king. But under his tyrannical rule, the vibrant Pride lands began to wither. He allowed the hyenas to hunt without restraint, and soon the once bountiful kingdom became a barren, desolate wasteland. Meanwhile, Simba trudged across a vast, unforgiving desert. Days turned into an eternity without food or water. Finally, his small body gave out, and he collapsed. Vultures began to circle overhead, ready for a meal. But just as they descended, a warthog charged through them, scattering them in a panic. It was Pumbaa, and with him was his meerkat friend, Timon. At first, they were terrified. A lion cub. But as they looked closer, they saw he was just a tiny, helpless creature on the brink of death. Pumbaa, ever the soft-hearted one, wanted to take Simba home and raise him. Timon, the pragmatist, was horrified. What if he grew up and ate them? As they argued, Simba stirred. They introduced themselves as his rescuers, but Simba was far from grateful. He had lost his home, his father, and the will to live. Seeing his despair, Timon and Pumbaa decided they couldn't just leave him. Though Simba refused to talk about his past, the two friends stuck by his side. They did everything they could to cheer him up, and slowly a smile returned to his face. They introduced him to their philosophy, Hakuna Matata. It means no worries. Simba didn't fully grasp it, but for the first time since his father's death, he felt a sense of relief. He grew up in the jungle with his new friends, living a carefree life, forgetting all about the kingdom that was suffering under Scar's reign. Back in the Pride Lands, life had become a struggle for survival. The land was barren, the herds had moved on, and prey was scarce. The lionesses, led by Sarabi, were heartbroken but powerless against Scar and his hyena army. Nala, Simba's childhood friend, could no longer stand by and watch her home die. She decided she had to leave and find help. It was a dangerous journey, and she was nearly caught by Scar, but with a clever distraction from Zazu, she managed to escape. Her journey led her to a lush jungle, where she stumbled upon Pumbaa. To her, he was food. She chased him, but just as she was about to pounce, a young lion intervened. A fierce fight broke out. The two lions were evenly matched, rolling and clashing until a familiar move made them pause. They recognized each other. It was Simba. Nala was stunned. Scar had told everyone that Simba was dead. She pleaded with him to return. The Pride Lands needed their rightful king, but Simba refused. The guilt he carried was too heavy. He believed he was unworthy. Nala couldn't understand. How could the brave cub she knew have lost all hope? They argued, and a disappointed Nala left him, walking away into the night. Alone once more, Simba wandered to a clearing. As a storm gathered, he heard a familiar voice booming from the clouds. It was his father, Mufasa. "Remember who you are," the spirit urged him. "You are my son, and the one true king." Mufasa's words reignited the fire within him. Simba remembered his destiny. He was no longer a lost cub. He was a king. Filled with renewed courage, he raced back home, reuniting with Nala along the way. But the sight of the Pride Lands horrified him. It was a graveyard of bones and dust. His home was destroyed. He found Scar on Pride Rock, threatening his mother. When Scar saw Simba alive and well, he was shocked, but his cunning mind quickly went to work. He tried to manipulate Simba again, forcing him to confess to causing Mufasa's death in front of the entire Pride. He backed Simba to the edge of the cliff, the very same spot where Mufasa had fallen. Just as Simba slipped, Scar leaned in and whispered the truth. "I killed Mufasa." The confession ignited a primal rage in Simba. With a powerful surge, he launched himself back onto the ledge, pinning Scar down. The battle for Pride Rock had begun. The lionesses, empowered by the truth, fought back against the hyenas. The Pride was victorious. Scar tried to flee, but Simba cornered him. In a moment of mercy, Simba told him to run and never return the same words Scar had once said to him. But Scar, a traitor to the end, attacked him one last time. Simba fought back, sending Scar tumbling off the cliff. He survived the fall, only to find himself surrounded by the very hyenas he had betrayed. They closed in, ending his reign of terror for good. Simba ascended Pride Rock and let out a mighty roar that echoed across the plains. He had reclaimed his throne. Under his just rule, the rains returned, and the Pride Lands began to heal and flourish once more. Life returned to the circle. Simba and Nala restored the royal bloodline, and soon a new cub was presented to the kingdom, ready to begin the journey of the next Lion King. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.